What's up, YouTube? I had a few people request that I do a follow-up video for my initial video with my purchase from the Ontario Cannabis store. I got it a few weeks ago, and I got two strains. Two are very different. One was called Moon Loon by Up, an outdoor greenhouse grower from the Niagara Peninsula. And then I also purchased a White Shark from ReadyCan. I've had some time with them. I feel like I've gotten a better understanding of the types of smoke that you get out of it, and I gotta say that the higher CBD content of the Moon Loon by Up was quite pleasurable. It had a 2-to-1 CBD ratio, meaning that there's twice as many CBD content, I guess, versus THC. And what I took out of it was it was very calming. It was very, relaxing. I was able to carry a conversation. It was almost as if I didn't really realize that I was kind of under the influence of something. So I really enjoyed that. It was nice to take before, going out at night or playing sports, and, I didn't feel kind of bogged down by being too baked, I guess. On the contrast, the White Shark by ReadyCan was kind of the very traditional stoned feeling you might expect from smoking higher THC content marijuana, where it was certainly a head high, certainly a bit of a body high, and it wasn't the best for me to be overly social or out in public. If I had things to do by myself, it was quite enjoyable to take, but it's not something that I would expect new smokers to be able to feel overly comfortable with. Someone a little bit more seasoned might be able to deal with themselves or be able to feel more comfortable in that space, where the higher CBD content, I feel like anyone could try and feel very comfortable and not overwhelmed, and all of those types of characteristics. One thing that I did want to explore a little bit further was the physical characteristics of the two strains, and if there was any noticeable difference physically under a microscope, and then I wanted to address a few other things that have kind of come up in the aftermath of all of this publicity behind legal marijuana. But this is a close-up of the Up by Loon Moon. So you can see that the trichomes are very amber and cloudy, so being these like kind of stringy areas all around. The stilagma, I think these are called, are a little bit longer, more developed in terms of like a richness or a brown. And when you compare that to the White Shark, which as you can see has similar characteristics, there are certainly trichomy areas that are cloudy, but they are I feel like they're smaller, less developed, and not quite as amber. And a lot of those characteristics can be simply affected by when it is harvested in terms of the development of the flower. But it was just kind of interesting to compare the two. Now, I know that in the wake of legalization, there's been a lot of concern about policing it. How is that going to take place, especially when it comes to impaired driving, what it's going to mean crossing the border, and the delivery issues and all that type of stuff. And my kind of thoughts are that in terms of driving, a lot of municipalities will check kind of subjective ways. So, they'll do tests in terms of like how you appear, are your eyes red, how are you able to carry a conversation, those types of things. So they're very subjective. So if you get pulled over, first of all, you're getting pulled over because there's something you've physically done. You've swerved, you rolled through a stoplight, there's certain things that trigger a police officer's intent to talk to you. And if you don't do anything wrong, there isn't really anything for you to worry about. So, try and keep that in mind. When it comes to border services, I've spoken with CBSA agents as well as police officers, and nothing really changes. Again, you're the trigger for additional questioning, searching, things like that. If you're going to lie, they can't really prove it. They're not going to take blood tests. They're not going to go through your credit card history to see if you made a purchase. So, You know, as long as you're respectable, appropriate, and professional, or take yourself, you know, as an adult, you know, there really shouldn't be, you shouldn't be subject to any additional issues crossing the border or with police officers. And a lot of people have addressed the issue of the packaging. Now, the packaging is excessive. We all understand that. I think that's something that's going to be refined, and I think people should try and be a little bit more cautious with their judgment. I mean, it's only been around for, you know, a couple of weeks. Do we think that the LCBO was perfect the first day it opened? Probably not. So I think if people are a little bit less quick to judge, a little bit more patient, we'll all benefit and be able to appreciate this offering in the long run. Such a good boy. Harvey and Mikey. Trying to get his ball.